Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, like I always say, welcome to the channel. Today is Tuesday, November 28th, 2023. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and a great month. And in today's video, I'm going to give you my recap of the month as well as talk about my intentions for December. So I'm just going to jump right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is work, and I always talk about work in my recaps. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this today because uh, I'm going to be doing another video in a couple weeks talking about sort of the year in general, where I'm going to talk about work in more detail. But yeah, it was a good month, and as I always say, onward and upward. It's an entrepreneurial venture, a sales venture, sales oriented, and I'm always learning and trying new things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, taking the lessons and moving forward with it. So, um, like I said, stay tuned for a future video on that, where I talk about it in more detail. The other big thing that happened this month, well, the first big thing rather that happened this month is not only did we meet our fundraising goal for the Pittsburgh Vision Walk, but we exceeded it. We had a goal of $75,000, and we are now sitting just under 81,000. So, exceeding our goal this year, phenomenal accomplishment. I couldn't be happier and more proud and grateful of the staff members at the Foundation Fighting Blindness that really made this all possible, the fundraisers, the benefactors, our sponsors, uh, anybody who played any part in us achieving and exceeding our goal. I'm very, very grateful for that. And thank you all for being a part of it in any way that you were. The On the first, I had my annual ophthalmologist appointment, just a checkup where they check my retinas and see how things are holding up. I have a buckle that's keeping my left retina intact, and then I have some scar tissue from a laser procedure in my right eye, keeping that retina from detaching, which is, in my opinion, saved my sight because I lost all my sight in my left eye a couple decades ago from a retinal detachment, and they decided to reinforce the right eye to make sure the same thing didn't happen. And I credit my doctor, Dr. Andrew Eller, for basically saving my sight. We don't know for sure, but I'm giving him credit. But everything was stable, everything's holding up well, and stability is the best case scenario until there's a treatment or a cure, that slows down progression, stops progression of the illness, or reverses it. Stability is the best possible outcome. So I'm very, very grateful that things have been stable for as long as they have. I've always been legally blind, for as long as I can remember, but I don't remember having any better vision than I have now, and I don't recall any noticeable changes in vision that are really impacting my life in a big way. Some small changes, but not anything that's super impactful uh, from a visual field standpoint. On the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of November, I went back up to New York to hang out with Ed Weist, who hosts the RP Fest event that I was a part of last year and this year. And my dad and his friend had a function up in upstate New York, which was about 20 minutes away from where Ed lives. So I tagged along with them, and they dropped me off at Ed's, and I hung out with him and his family for a couple of days, which was really cool and fun, spur of the moment thing, and just to hang out with everybody. Uh, Ed and his family, rather. The other guys didn't go because this was like I said, a spur of the moment thing. Wasn't really planned out too much. Um, but I saw everybody in Ed's family that I saw a couple months ago, so it was fun to circle back around up there in New York and see everybody again and hang out and have a good time. Uh, November 10th was my birthday, and on the 11th, we had my birthday celebration here at the house. There were about 30 people at the house, friends, family members, and it was a really, really fun day, and really got to enjoy time with, like I said, family, friends, and friends. And for anyone who came on that day, I want you to know how much I appreciate you coming, because and it may not seem like a big deal to you to just come and hang out for a few hours, but it's a really big deal for me because not being able to drive, I don't get out as often as I would like to, and it's not as easy for me to come and see any of you as often as I would like to, or just get in a car and come see you, just like that. So it really, really means more to me than I could probably ever explain to you that you came just for a few hours and hung out. And may seem like not a big deal to you, but it was invaluable to me that you took the time to do so. So thank you very much for being a part of that day. And thank you to everybody who was here in spirit as well. In the middle of the month, we had some family friends spend the weekend here that we see, somewhat often, but they came over for the weekend to hang out and spend some more time here, and that was really really fun. My parents and my sister and I hung out with them for a couple of days, which was great. And then, of course, last week was Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was very low key this year, same as last year. It was just my parents, my sister, and I for Thanksgiving dinner, same as last year. We usually have some cousins and aunts come as well, but last year they kind of did their own thing with their extended families, and we decided to do the same thing this year. So, but it was very nice, all the same food, and really enjoyable. Watched some movies and hung out on Thanksgiving, and then on Thanksgiving weekend. Friday watched the final Penn State game of the regular season. We shut out Michigan State, which was fantastic, and Michigan beat Ohio State, which was great as well. And then the Steelers, most importantly, I think the Steelers won their game against Cincinnati on Sunday. So it was a really really fun Thanksgiving weekend from a football standpoint for sure. And then my sister and my mom and I went to the Hometown Christmas Show musical in Vandergrift down the road here, which is a tradition of ours. My sister used to be in the show in elementary school, middle school, and most of high school, but we had always gone to the show as many times as we could because it's just part of what we do here as locals. Like I said, it's a local show, and it's a little bit different every year. It's Christmas, of course, some of the same songs and stuff, but they add some twists every year to kind of make it a little bit unique and non-repetitive. So the three of us did that on Sunday, which was great, and and I took some time during the long weekend to reflect on work and my business and what I want for myself and how I see things going over the next few years and what I need to do to achieve those results, and didn't spend too much time going too deep into it, but I spent some time going over like the key objectives and what I need to do to get there, sort of broadly speaking, and I'm going to be spending more time here in the next month taking a deeper dive into that and starting to really execute on those things. So the final thing for November is what I always do, maintaining my health and my fitness, running 4 days a week, watching what I eat those 4 days very strictly, and just keeping up with that. So for December, my intentions for December, there's a Foundation Fighting Blindness Pittsburgh chapter speaker series happening on Saturday, December the 2nd, and I'll be speaking there briefly, as well as hanging out with all the attendees, as well as some people from the Foundation Fighting Blindness, some staff people who will also be speaking with me, and just having that camaraderie and sharing an in-person experience with members of the chapter and just members of the community more broadly speaking. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be at the Oakmont Library here in Oakmont, Pennsylvania, and that will be from 10:30 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. So if anybody in the local area is available and would like to come to that event and hang out with me and several other folks and talk about low vision and the Foundation Fighting Blindness and have a social, nice social interaction, feel free to stop by. There's going to be an office Christmas party at work in December in the middle of the month. I think I was going to go out to California for it, but I think we have a. It looks like I'm going to have a conflict. There's some people that are going to be here that weekend. There's some overlap, I think. So unfortunately, I may not be able to make it to the in-person Christmas party, but I will be there on Zoom like I was last year. So that'll be fun regardless. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer that I can't make it out there in person. But it is what it is, and like I said, it'll be fun regardless. Um, yeah, we have some friends. Like I said, some friends coming over in the middle of the month. I may be going to a mandolin concert with my mom and some of my aunts and cousins in the middle of the month as well. For those of you that don't know, a mandolin is, I think it's Italian in origin. I don't want to misappropriate the cultural origin of the mandolin, but it's like a guitar or sort of thing. It's an acoustic instrument that that is near and dear to our hearts in our family because we have a family member who had passed away about 8 years ago. He was like a big proponent of playing and listening to that type of music. So it'd be fun to go to that event here in Pittsburgh. I think it's in the North Hills somewhere. Um, Christmas Eve is, of course, the big holiday in our family, being of Italian descent. Always been a bigger deal than Christmas Day, and we're gonna have it at our house. I can't remember how long we've been having it at our house. It's been probably like close to 5 years we've been hosting it at our house. It's always been at my grandma's house, but when she got older and just older, we'll say, it made more sense for us to transition and have it at our house, and it's been really great, and it's looking like there's going to be about 9 of us this year, between my parents, my sister and I, my aunts and my cousins. It'll be very, very intimate and nice and tight knit, as our family has generally been for most of my life, and just a very fun and meaningful tradition that is very dear to everybody who's attending. So Christmas Day, I'm not actually sure what's happening yet. That's still kind of to be determined. But like I said, Christmas Eve is definitely the big thing, and then of course New Year's Eve, which is another one of my favorite nights of the year. My two favorite nights of the year traditionally in my life have happened about a week apart from each other. It's Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, and New Year's Eve also is up in the air. But that's okay. Maybe something will come up, and maybe not. Maybe it'll be very low key. Just hang out, have some pizza, and watch TV. The Steelers actually play on New Year's Eve, so watch the game and have some snacks and ring in the new year with family and whoever else wants to be included. Um, and finally, in December, I'm going to spend a lot of time, like I mentioned, planning for the new year, and not only the new year, but also for the next several years. Like I said, I have a plan in my head, broadly speaking, and I just need to do a little bit more work in December in compartmentalizing and dividing things up as to what needs to be done, how I can scale things, how I can make things work for me, and do things in a way that work for me to achieve the goals and objectives that I have set out for myself over the next, we'll say, 4 years, 4 calendar years. I have some big plans, big goals to achieve in that time, and in about mid-December, I'm going to include what those goals are in more detail when I do my year-end review video for 2023, and talk about what I'm planning, looking and moving forward in my life, both mainly professionally, because it ties into retinitis pigmentosa and how I'm dealing with that on multiple fronts. And I'm going to be probably filming that video and releasing it probably on December 15th, but we'll see how things go. Whether or not I decide to do it on that day or not, or a little bit before or a little bit after, but it'll probably be on December 15th. So that's it. That's November 2023, as well as what's coming up in December. I'm really looking forward to it. Everything, something happened pretty much, yeah, every weekend in December or November. It looks like something's happening every weekend in December. So very productive months, um, very full months with family stuff, friend stuff, and professional stuff, and everything is moving along, and everything is the way that it should be. So um, I can't imagine I missed anything, but I definitely would have if I wasn't, looking at my cheat sheet here. But yeah, so thank you all for watching. Again, hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. It's officially the holiday season. Um, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video as the grandfather clock lets us know that it's 7 o'clock. So thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.